Hello, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the Starladder I-League 13 match between Team FanTuan and CDEC.Y. It is a Chinese best of two here, kicking off our 3 consecutive matches here in the evening for myself, and I do apologize for the delay. There were some technical mishaps that I had to address before the stream could go live. Let's look at how the draft did pan out here in Game 1 of this best of 2. We had a Tusk Undying ban as well as a Slardar Darkseer, no surprises there, but we did end up seeing that it was a Doom first picked, Gyrocopter follow-up, the Shadow Fiend Wyvern combo together in Phase 1 for CDEC.Y. Team FanTuan had to respond to a Spirit Breaker pick with a Rubik, and then after the Bane they picked up a Queen of Pain. So, very back and forth here. I would say that on the tier list of heroes that Team FanTuan won out, but as far as overall fighting synergy, I have to say CDEC.Y have a lot going for them. I mean, they have the potential to just run people down. They've got a great combination of damage and disable. Even the Queen of Pain shouldn't feel too safe here with her blink back. Though, the one thing I will say is they don't really have the easiest way to kill off the Doom quickly. If Shadow Fiend gets a double raise and a Brain Sap, all hits at once, yeah, he'll die pretty quick, but most of the time you're only going to see 2 or 3 heroes collaborating against the Doom in the ganking phase, and he's going to be able to Scorch Earth heal through most of it. So I'm expecting a pretty easy laning phase for the Doom, and of course he always comes in with that big heavy hitting mid game. So final bans here: Visage banned out by CDEC.Y, and then of course Ursa banned out by FanTuan. That has been a pocket pick for a lot of these tier 2 teams going through the earlier stages of Starladder I-League. So really interested to see it as a high priority ban, but at the same time they don't want somebody that can just clobber the Gyro or the Doom when the Fiend's Grip or the Winter Curse hits. So, Ember Spirit's actually going to be the pickup here for the side of CDEC, and it should be pretty effective at just kind of spreading the map and, of course, building themselves up to the late game stage, the kind of a turtle stage.
10 seconds.
They have a lot of potential here if they can get the enemy to clump together, I would say. Shadow Fiend AoE, obviously. The Winter Wyvern is immense in those kinds of situations. Then the Ember Spirit, Sleight of Fist, Battle Fury will be pretty huge. But just going toe-to-toe, either Gyrocopter still is very strong in this situation, gets himself a Butterfly up, along with, of course, many other items, and he should be looking pretty strong. So looking forward to seeing what he brings. Alright, so DDR going to be running on the Bounty Hunter here as the last pick for Team FanTuan. That's their secondary support instead of a Visage. That means their laning phase will be a little bit less destructive in terms of like brute force attempts between the tri-lanes, but the Bounty Hunter can still wiggle his way in there and create some real havoc, especially if you can get an early Courier or snipe. End of the day, though, we definitely want to see him hit level 6 and get that track online, get some momentum that way. So it looks like for now, Perfect World is playing nice. We're not getting too much lag out of the gate, and we'll see. Hopefully we don't have to go for any restarts today, but we will do what we must. Anyways, let's look at the opener here. We've got Inflame on the side of CDEC.Y. He's going to be running on the solo mid Shadow Fiend, actually getting himself the Wraith Band. I don't know why I didn't finish that one, but there you go. Wraith Band complete. So maybe he's considering an alternative build that gets the bot a little bit earlier, but no, he's going to go for the standard. EHOME.K going to be running on the Ember Spirit here. Mango to start off with. I've been seeing a lot more mangoes in China, so it's not always the most outstanding type thing. Anyways, he'll go for early ring, it looks like, and be pretty good to just push out his lane from there, farm up towards probably BOTs would be the natural progression. June's going to be running on this Spirit Breaker. Now, he's got a lot of consumables, but he will be taking that off-lane role, and he's just going to try to survive. Icy is going to be on the Winter Wyvern, supporting, and then that leaves the Bane to do his thing. And with the Enchanted Mango as well as the cheaper Brain Sap in 6.85, he should be able to bring in a lot of pain and turn it back around. But we'll see. Looking for raises here from Inflame. He's going to need them if they want this rune. But we're going to see the charge go through on Paparazzi. The Banner rune not claimed just yet as it spawns. It will go to the Queen of Pain. She picks it up, and Demons will be her first blood. He went for Nightmare over Brain Sap here. And that's not a winning solution when it comes to surviving. Now July on the front line with that Scorched Earth. One more hit brings them down. That's a 2-0 for FanTuan, and they claimed one of the 2 bounty runes. So that contest coming in from CDEC.Y a little bit inadvisable. I mean, they had to skill raises for that. They didn't really have their abilities connect the way they needed to either. Like, they went for a charge onto the Queen of Pain at the distance, and then the Nightmare on a closer target. And the end result of that is a lot of disables, but no damage. They couldn't kill anybody, they couldn't cover the rune sufficiently, and they won't be able to really excel in the laning phase right now. Inflame doesn't get to start with Necromastery, so though he has 2 and 1 on CS, he's actually still going to be at 0 souls heading into level 2. Now it's going to be a 2v2 on the mid lane. Bane can at least contribute to this, but he also needs to get level 2. Right now, Nightmaring the Queen of Pain so they can solo out the Bounty Hunter would be a great pickup, and the Sentry Ward gives them the vision they need. He cannot hide anywhere in this river, so that's a pretty solid pick-me-up there. The Sentry Ward is outside the range here in the mid, and it also actually is in the range of an Observer, little do they know. They'll probably scout that out later. Down bottom, we're going to see the Doom slip away. Low HP, but again, the Scorched Earth is just enough to keep him alive, and as he levels up, that's going to be easier and easier for him. Another Sentry Ward, though, DDR does at least see this one in existence thanks to the accidental auto attack of the Winter Wyvern. So DDR knows this one's here, whereas oh, he's trying to find the ones that are in the Fog of War, but it is not looking good. So yeah, we've got this Sentry Ward where like it's in a really weird placement, actually. And actually now there's one dead center, which is a lot more common. But this one he does find out, and he's probably going to have to stick towards that bottom area. Otherwise it's going to be so easy to predict his movements now that they've got 2 sentries on mid. Double damage rune as well could create some real issues, and yeah, I think that maybe July has some kill potential here against one of the 2 targets. Wyvern being the slower one, probably the easier kill. But they expect it. They did see him pick up the DD rune, so they have to expect he's down here. But they don't have detection on him just yet. And it's going to be actually Ember Spirit that gets caught out here. Big Janata strike. They'll try to run him down with Scorched Earth. The Flame Guard will go away after the Cold Embrace expires. So he is healed up. He does pop the Searing Chains. And they're actually going to look to turn around on the Bounty Hunter before he has his Invis off cooldown. Very nice play there from CDEC. Just calm, cool, and collected, getting the Cold Embrace out when they needed to, and obviously Scorched Earth isn't the best skill to negate the Flame Guard early in the fight. It takes just about as long to bring it down as a Flame Guard does to take full effect. Mid lane here, Inflame actually doing pretty well with the Bane's assistance. Bane is stacking for him now, a double stack on the Western Hard Camp, as well as allowing him to build up his CS, now 12 souls, despite the being forced to go for Raise level 1. So, all in all, I think the Bane is contributing a lot to CDEC.Y's early game, but, of course, bottom, it really just comes down to where the damage is coming from. Now that there's a Mud Golem, this might change. The Hurl Boulder does 125 burst damage, and the Shuriken Toss soon enough will be skilled, and that will both take away the Flame Guard pretty early. That being said, there is a Dust wasted here. Demons pops that out on DDR, who is now going to be stalking around and probably looking to get understanding of how many stacks are being placed out. There's a sentry here. As well, Dust is a lot shorter cooldown at 30 seconds, so you have to kind of watch out for that secondary usage of the Dust. Either way, though, he's running out of mana. He's going to have to make a play soon. It's going to be on this Courier, and we'll see. It's got no burst speed. Although it's flying over the tree line, that doesn't make it safe, and DDR will find it out here. Janata, and then the second hit. Down goes the Courier, and a lot of money to FanTuan. Haven't really seen the Spearbreaker do too much. He's just gotten... Obviously, he died in the initial exchange, but otherwise he's gotten 1 CS, and he's only found level 2. So we're looking for June to start getting involved here. But this Dire Observer Ward's actually perfect for scouting him out, and they'll keep an eye for any charges coming from that direction. That's unfortunate that the sentry was placed here didn't actually get the D ward, because they didn't have the vision up the hill. Don't think they saw June charge just yet. Nope, they still don't see him, so they should not be pulling back, which means they're going to be converged upon. They're playing 2v4 right now, and little do they know, they're going to get caught out hard here. Searing Chains. Oh, the Dust misses the Bounty Hunter, and they don't get in position for the Doom. In fact, he's looking to turn it. He drops the Boulder, he goes for the Scorched Earth, and Bounty Hunter's coming in, but this is a huge engagement! Why engage against 4 heroes here, with only a Rubik rotating? They really seem to underestimate how many people CDEC had brought there and just how much they could accomplish in that time period. I think they thought it was like a 3-man play and they could turn it with the Rubik, but 4 heroes there, the Bounty Hunter dies so fast. And honestly, an early game Rubik rotation, while good for pulling people out of position, is not really good when it's an even fight. Oh, speaking of pulling somebody out of position, Spearbreaker should be telekinesis here. No, Pretty Hawk can't get in range. Does have the boots, but just so slow naturally. down bottom, Doom will be approaching his level 6 gradually. Look at the experience per minute here. We've got the Doom as the top of the solo, the offlaners, but he's about to go down for the first time actually this game. Little Doomlings coming out, might get some damage out on EHOME, but not much, and they'll be dying shortly thereafter. Oh, this ward is doing some work. This is, you know, a pretty standard ward to be honest, but it has been just paying dividends in terms of how much info they've gotten around the bounty hunter, and that just comes down to the fact that the Gondar has been playing around this area and visiting around that area quite a lot. Telekinesis and call down, but they can't cancel the charge. They have to kill him quick, and that will be no trouble at all with the call of the Sonic Wave committed as well.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So, Courier's still down for the count for CDEC, going to be spawning here in 30 seconds, but in the meantime, looks like they're just trying to stabilize. Obviously, they want to limit how much the bounty hunter gets kill momentum. Soon enough, that's going to be really dangerous because Doom is, like I said, getting that level 6 sooner rather than later. Pretty high experience per minute from him. Up top here, the tier 1 gets pressured by that double damage as well as the gyrocopter, and that is going to be the first tower to be claimed. Searing Chance comes out, boulder toss, slow, but will actually chip away at the Ember Spirit, and he's going to have to go for a TP back here. So Remnant TP, he'll come right back with a full bottle and full HP. And that means that the bottom lane won't need the Courier. It's going to be a loaded up Courier though, as the supports want their detection, and of course the Shadow Fiend needs his boots. So Inflame will finally pick up that key item here. So early on, Gyrocopter's doing really well with the last hit on that tower. Actually might get another kill here. It's gonna be going to Queen of Pain. A little delay there. Perfect world, but we get the information we need. So Gyrocopter's not over-farmed. We'll see the Queen of Pain pick up her fair share too, despite only getting 32 CS here at 7.5 minutes. Really, that Bane did a lot of work, pressuring her and making sure that she couldn't get a free lane. Doom, where has he gone? I expected him maybe to go back bottom, but he's fed up with that one. In July is going to be rotating into the jungle here and maybe looking for the wolves.
Dire's structures are fortified.
So, down bottom instead will be DDR here. Might just grab a couple of CS under tower, but has to be very careful. Obviously the slight... Oh no, slight skilled yet. Okay, so... Not as treacherous as it could be. Maybe if there's another way to close the distance on DDR, they can create a kill opportunity. What they need is the detection on the Wyvern, and then you just go for the slight searing, and then you'll be able to lock down that Gondar. Instead, it's actually going to be a pressure on this tower here, and the Siege Creep and the Ember doing work. They'll get the last hit, and he'll just Remnant away, but not as far as he'd like to. They could look to run him down, but he's just got enough distance that they're not going to bother. So yeah, it was a good last hit there. Combining the auto attack of the Ember Spirit at the same time the Siege Creep hits essentially makes it either for the Radiant or for the Ember Spirit. Either way, a win for CDEC.Y. We do see, however, that Icy's kind of caught out here, and that Arctic Burn is such a long cooldown that he might just have to TP out. Well, there's 3-man pressure down bottom, and he has Splinter Blast in range, but that's about it.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yeah, it's worth it though, just pulling him off the tower. But up top, we're going to see the charge connect onto the Rubik, and that will be a kill. No reinforcements whatsoever, but he does spend all his gold. So honestly, pretty odd just picking up an Urn of Shadows and wasting all this time, probably getting a kill for the Queen of Pain. That's absolutely worth it. Now, the fact that there is no Sonic Wave kind of sucks, but Doom as well, being committed to kill off June, it should be no trouble at all to finish him off with those last hits. So, Juke as he might, they actually do get 2 kills for the 1. Rubik spent all his gold, and they do have to commit some ultimates, but they do get some kills of their own. So 7-5 is your kill score. As long as FanTuan could wait out the next 100 seconds or so cleanly, then they're going to be very happy for that exchange. Switching it over to net worth here, Gyrocopter is really farming up nicely. ZSMJ, you'd expect it of him, but this guy is already up to 64 last hits, 3 kills, 1 assist, and a tower slain as well. So if you just get a couple ancient stacks here from the possessed range creep, then you're going to be finding a very farmed Gyrocopter very quickly. But unsurprisingly, the Shadow Fiend is keeping pace here. He's been able to farm up some good camps of his own, using his spells efficiently, and he's been able to find himself 69 CS now. What I'm kind of surprised about is how well this Ember Spirit's doing. While Shadow Fiend getting this farm this early is no surprise at all, the Ember Spirit's actually neck and neck with everybody up top. So Ember Spirit 1-0 and 2. I mean, despite his courier getting sniped, he's just
Dire's
been
top tower is
very
under
active on
attack.
his lane, and it's showing that he has some real potential here in terms of early progression. I'm gonna see the telekinesis here on Bane. Bane is a tanky one, but not tanky enough to survive even the initial volley of spells. So although Sonic Wave and Doom are on cooldown, they have no hesitation pushing on this mid-tier 1. Shadow Fiend does have a TP scroll. They do have the Winter's Curse, but I'm not sure if they can engage on this. If June is tracked, so that means if he tries to charge in, it's guaranteed going to be cancelled. But that's a nice Splinter Blast. I feel like this tower is going to stay. If FanTuan keep pressing it, then they're going to be punished pretty heavily. We're actually up top here. Inflame going for the Requiem. Kaboom! Takes down the Rubik, takes down a tower, and even gets a TP cancel as well. Oh man, he's that haster and an Inflame. He's just like, yep, I don't give a shit about anything you have to bring against me. And he's actually going to pick up a Yasha here. So this is just insane for Inflame. Getting the tower last hit, the Rubik solo kill just instantaneously. Bounty Hunter, oh, don't poke now, don't poke now. They dust him. They actually knew he was there. And that is going to be the death of the Bounty Hunter. I think maybe his Shadow Walk just expired. It is certainly off cooldown, so that's a 5-second window. I'm pretty sure it had just expired, and they go ahead and dust him, take him down. Whew. So that is, yeah, FanTuan not getting as much momentum as they really wanted here. They're going to get some gold from track in the next big fight, but they really need to find a way to get their ultimates to team fights instead of pickoffs, so that everybody can really enjoy the track gold, especially the Bounty Hunter. In the meantime, my camera misses the kill here. It is going to be the Searing Chains combo. You can see it here. The Charge of Darkness, Searing Chains, set up by the Nightmare Brain Sap. So Demons was the first one to run into the Queen of Pain, but he was not. And he sets up the kill. But speaking of setting up kills, I'll try to catch up, guys. Sorry, it's still me getting my bearings. Had a hectic pre-game, but now we're in the game, and I'll focus more on catching everything, all the action here. It was a Winter's Curse that, of course, set up a freebie on the Gyrocopter, and that's a pretty huge kill. I mean, that is 390 gold going to the Shadow Fiend, and more importantly, Gyrocopter just not being able to farm for his death timer. I mean, he's been farming non-stop since the game began, very efficiently, so even just taking out about a minute of his time is very valuable. Drums up for the Ember Spirit. Any other big items? S&Y. Should be Spirit Breaker, Urn, and Triangle Boots on the Wyvern. But what about the Dire? We've got Queen of Pain building up the Staff of Wizardry, and she's actually going to turn it into the Yules. So she is worried enough about the disables coming in from CDEC Youth, especially these Searing Chains. It's also really good that she has a way to cancel a Fiend's Grip. If an ally is caught next to her, they can go ahead and just drop the Cyclone, interrupt it. Now we do see a nice little smoke here, 3-man smoke, so they're showing on bottom, they were just showing on mid, and they have a ward showing on mid as well. So while they didn't see the smoke, they're probably not as suspicious of these 3 heroes moving about, and that's going to be some farming and warding coming in from Icy, which is a hero they definitely could pick off. They don't have vision on him right now, though, so it's going to be a little bit luck, and oh, Icy, luck's out. Going to the west here. If he just heads home, he'll be fine, but no, he goes back into his jungle, and the Bounty Hunter should find him out here, so that's going to be a track kill among multiple heroes. As long as they can close in these last few steps, the Arctic Burn coming across, they'll miss this kill! What is that? They get the telekinesis thanks to the vision, but I don't think they'll get it. The Doom? Yeah, Paparazzi blinking in, and no deny coming in from the Bane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
So,
attack.
yeah, they do end up getting it. They jump over, they commit a few extra spells, but the Wyvern will fall, and that will be track money taken care of. In the meantime, Tier 2 is being heavily pressured by the cores of CDEC, and I think they just get this tower for free. I mean, the ability to respond right now is pretty lacking from FanTuan, but they do glyph it, showing intent to fight, and even without Doom, Angel Eye is ready to run in, but Inflame wants to go for that Requiem play. Maybe not the best move this time, but we do see a great Nether Strike on the Gyrocopter. The last hit on the tower will go to the Spirit Breaker, and now they look to engage hard. Paparazzi does get the blink back, though. Pretty Haw gonna get hit by a Remnant and seared up. Searing Chains on Searing Chains action, though, as now Pretty Haw has stolen it, and EHOME gets turned around on hard, just overstaying his welcome. Brain Sap coming in from Demons, tries to finish off ZSMJ, but no such luck. They got the tower, but they paid for it with 3 lives, including multiple tracks. Watch this Bounty Hunter's gold just shoot up here. Well, apparently just 1. He tracked 2, but apparently only 1 credited him. Or maybe it doesn't count. No, it counted all 3 kills, so I'm actually surprised he didn't get as much. But all that being said, FanTuan were looking for a fight where they could just get levels and gold as a team unit, and they certainly got that there. Unfortunately, at the cost of obviously some structural integrity here. A little bit less map control, in fact, a lot less if you consider the ward still in place here and freshly placed here. Ember Spirit's just going to be moving around the map. He did go for the stats build, going for the treads, going for the urn, obviously. And should be able to withstand a lot in the fights, but it's not going to save him if he ever gets doomed. He still has to be pretty much out of the fight until the doom goes off. Then he can start getting involved. So your ideal situation is like one of your supports gets doomed. A Spear Breaker's never going to get doomed, but other than just for like the kill opportunity we saw up top. But like the Bane or the Wyvern, they're realistic doom targets if the Ember's patient enough and the Doom is impatient enough. And Doom's actually going to be going for a pretty interesting build himself. Goes for a Mechanism after Tranquil Drums. So really just wants to focus on these 5-man fights and surviving through them. And that's a pretty key aspect, is I feel like they have the potential to win the fights the longer they go. And usually Gyrocopter Queen of Pain lineups work the other way around. The longer the fight goes on, these two heroes who focus so much initial damage in the flat cannon and in their two ultimates, the longer the fight goes on, the worse off they often are. But no, Angela is confident that if they have the extra health pool, they should be able to take down multiple heroes without heavy casualties. Icy does get a great Winter's Curse, though. 3-man Winter's Curse in Flame will be used up. Will not be able to get the Requiem off, but Angela might not get this Doom or the mech. He gets knocked down hard. Now we see big damage flying out, but Bounty Hunter trying to limp away. Doesn't get that stick off in time, and will be going down to the Bane. Bane does die in turn to the Queen of Pain, and that's going to be a 4 for 2. So when it's all said and done, it could have been a lot better team fight for FanTuan, but they still win out pretty heavily. I mean, they got so much damage in the initial burst here. 2,000 damage from the Queen of Pain with 2 Screams and 1 Sonic. And yeah, she really carried her team for that one. The Gyrocopter did drop everything he had to, did about half as much, but Paparazzi, my man, he got the Yules off in the SF, delaying the Requiem, and then just cleans house with so much damage, hitting his peak here at level 11. So really great plays coming in from him, but just overall, yeah, they probably could have done that with 1 casualty easily, the Magic Stick or the Mechanism being the key factor there. Anywho, that puts a lot more pressure on CDEC Youth to make every fight count from this point forward. They're trying to farm efficiently, spreading offensively, but this Observer Ward actually catches out the Ember Spirit, and if he goes for 1 more camp, he's in some real trouble now. They're going to catch him, but can the Doom get in position for this? Trying to run in, trying to get the Doom off, but there's going to be the Remnant away, and he looks to just go for the TP in the trees. They didn't track him, so they can't shuriken him. Oh, DDR, not going to get it. He does! The TP was just a moment too long, and the Remnant is not going to help him here. Ame is going to be going down, and that's going to be, of course, a really nice kill for the Doom here. So, picking him up. In the meantime, like, what is CDEC Youth doing? They're watching, essentially. They're just watching across the map. They are going to scout out this stack and try to ward it, but that's going to be fruitless now that the range creep has spotted out the Wyvern. He still goes for it. That's like the easiest D-ward of their lives, but he's like, I hope this stack doesn't get more than, what, 5 gigantic creeps. Hell, they have a sentry ward already in range of this. I think that's so worthless. But yeah, they've got like so many. That is a lot more than I would expect, actually. Here, obviously, rock golems and granite golems look pretty similar, but that is a huge stack. Dragons, thunder lizards. Is that 3 rocks as well? It looks like it. No matter the case, this is a very juicy stack for the Gyrocopter, and I think FanTuan's next game plan is just to defend it, while CDEC Youth have to look for a smoke where they can use the Winter's Curse in this choke point here. So ZSMJ is going to look for it now. Flacking it up. This will be like practically a butterfly for him if he can finish it out. Otherwise he might go for an HP item or even... BKB's okay. But yeah, they'll just clean it up as a team before CDEC can make their move, and this will get ZSMJ up above the Shadow Fiend in net worth here, just narrowly. But incoming, CDEC Youth going to be trying to fight in the choke point. Ame leading the charge, gets a very nice Searing Chains off, and there's no Doom for 7 seconds. He'll be Winter's Cursed, he'll be killed off. And now Inflame with the BKB runs forward, but they want ZSMJ instead, searing him and Requieming right on his face. They'll kill him off while Doom buys back and tries to get his Doom in position. Ame will be doomed up, and that's going to be a track kill with the Queen of Pain isolating the Winter Wyvern on the sides. It is going to be June charging away successfully. Paparazzi didn't get in range for the Yules. Oh, that Yules nerf. The range actually missing a kill there. But yeah, in the end, it's still probably favorable. The buyback on the Doom does hurt them, but it's track money, guys. Unless the Shadow Fiend pulls out a huge item as a result of the swing right there, it's still FanTuan that take their Ancients, take a tier 1 tower, and do really well in the fight. Doom really the one that got hurt the most by it, but even still. Seems like CDEC just... They have okay openers, but it's just not enough to really get the critical kills on certain heroes. For example, the Winter Wyvern did get the ultimate, the Winter's Curse, on the Doom, but he was down to 20% HP already. It's just, obviously it was very important to kill him. It was worth him buying back, in fact, to get back into it. But if they could have made that kill happen without using the Winter's Curse and then saved it for the rest of the heroes for FanTuan, that would have been immense. Instead, they blow it early, and CDEC.Y just don't have the wherewithal to finish everything off. Even with some really good spell usage. I love the Nightmare, Searing Chain, Requiem combo. That's really solid. Is this a Lotus Orb pickup here for the Bounty Hunter? I can't imagine him building anything else so early on. We're going to see the charge here onto Briat. Doesn't get the telekinesis lift. In fact, just gets bursted down. And they're going to look to push off of this. But first and foremost, Queen of Pain actually helping out. The Mechanism and Urn keeps Rubik alive. They'll Doom Inflame, and he's probably going down too. But yeah, they're going to just get caught up by Ame a little bit. Demons? D-warding? I guess he's kind of... Okay, so basically what happened with Demons here is he's already said, it's me or the Shadow Fiend. One of us will die here, and maybe both. Paparazzi can't find it in time. But yeah, so essentially the Shadow Fiend, the Bane wanted to be a distraction here anyways, so he goes ahead and says, okay, well, while I'm at it, I might as well D-ward, and then play the role of the Sacrificial Lamb. And that does end up distracting enough from Shadow Fiend, thanks to both the Bane Sacrifice and the Ember Spirit with the Searing Chains. So FanTuan can't run down the SF, but they're going to take another objective off this. Well, like, even where fights where FanTuan breaks even, they're taking objectives. They're taking a tower, or in this case, they're taking Roshan, and it's not going to be an Aegis Snatch from Ame. Instead, it's going to be him taking a lot of hits here. DDR very low. One Splinter Blast will do it, but it doesn't hit him. And DDR charged, but not dead yet. Ame, on the other hand, jumping away as fast as he can, gets hit by the Sonic Wave that we cannot see. We can only hear. How appropriate. Anyways, that means it's going to be a 1-0, as well as Roshan, as well as Aegis, all going in favor of FanTuan. They are looking really strong right now, guys. 7,500 net worth, about 7K in experience, allowing them to pull forward. And this Ember Spirit, he's just barely about to pick up Battle Fury, but we do see a nice little flanking strike, trying to kill off Pretty Ha. Again, this time, he will not survive. Miraculously, June will be killed off in the process, though, and the Fiends grab out on Queen of Pain, popping the Aegis. She's going to be ready to rumble for the rest of the fight, though. We've got In July here, Doom in 2 seconds, and they don't want to fight the remainder of this. But a Blink and Shadow Strike forward with the homing missile. Inflame can't leave. He's going to be killed off, and that is huge. Picking up the Shadow Fiend here, as well as it looks like Demons. Oh, he almost had it. But no, Demons will be going down, and that's going to be 26-14 as the total kill score. They do lose the Aegis, but... man, are they ready to just keep these fights rolling. You didn't even have to use the Doom for that. Just the fact that the existence of the Doom, the threat of the Doom Ultimate, made it so that CDEC were in retreat, and as a result, FanTuan were just able to run their opponents down. Very nice chase, and great mobility usage. Now I think Queen of Pain will be going for a Shiva's Guard, but the Bounty Hunter, I'm expecting Lotus Orb. Really good, of course, against the Winter Wyvern and the Bane. I would actually probably say this is the 2 weaknesses of CDEC's draft, is really their reliance on these single-target ultimates, and, of course, the Lotus Orb exploiting that. $12,000 net worth. Jeez, this Bounty Hunter really inflating the income now, as he's very quickly picking up his next item. And just as a whole, it feels like FanTuan are progressing to the next tier of fight potential and combat potential very rapidly.
Almighty money.
Spirit Breaker really wants to pick up his BKB. Not sure how much of a difference it'll make, though. I mean, I would at this point talk about how it could be Evan's Halberd, but if the Gyrocopter already has a BKB, you're not really getting any value out of that kind of a pickup, not until the late game. So yeah, we're just going to see them go for the smoke play here. It seems like the Radiant might know what's going on, though. They have some pretty good observer wards in play. They didn't see the smoke, but... And they're not moving like it either. Shadow Blade's going to catch Ame off guard. This should be a tier 2 tower after they kill off the Ember Spirit. In fact, he doesn't even get the Battle Fury. He was 200 gold away and is unable to complete such a critical item here 26 minutes in. And now what are CDEC doing still hanging around? They can't fight without the Ember Spirit. He can't and wouldn't want to buy back, but Inflame is here. They're going to pop the Winter's Curse, try to bring down the Doom early. He's actually still alive, still tanking through it, popping the mechanism and trying to turn this around. Is ZSMJ doing a lot of damage. Inflame TPing out unsuccessfully. It's a triple kill. It's a godlike spree. And while some of those particles are missed to the breaking on the Great Firewall of China, we do get to see the conclusion. CDEC Youth, they get slaughtered. All 5 dead. 4 of them wiped out in a single fight they didn't have to take. As soon as you lose the Ember Spirit here, your next play shouldn't be to, get ready to rumble over here. I mean, I can understand the value of like a Requiem play right at the top of the steps that could hit multiple heroes just at the right time, but when they dropped down that sentry ward, DDR was already right up there, and yeah, FanTuan looking so damn good right now. At this point, I have to think the CDEC are just trying to find their YOLO play to get them back into it. I don't know if that's rushing a Divine Rapier as soon as Ember Spirit finishes his Battle Fury, which I wouldn't advise. He still needs crit, after all. But I'm not too sure. Honestly, it seems like they need so much right now. They need to find some big kills on the top net worth of FanTuan, get some of that comeback gold back, because right now they can high ground defend okay, but their problem is pickoffs. Like, there are so many easy ways to initiate from Invis between the Bounty Hunter, the Doom, and even the Blink from the Queen of Pain. You can jump your enemies so quickly, and they can't afford a gem. Maybe the Gem of True Sight is the YOLO play, I'm not sure, but right now, Doom Shadow Bladed up, gonna break the smoke, but we'll see the response here if Demons can get the dust out. He does get it in July, but that's not the target you really want right now either. He's got nearly his entire team behind him, and he is tanky as all get out. He'll just pop the Doom on Demons, no problem at all, and it looks like they'll just have to leave him. Oh my, nothing going right for CDEC here in the mid game, and it might very well be the late game if the momentum is a defining factor, because FanTuan right now could close it out with the next Roshan, spawning in 2 to 5 minutes. And yet another objective. FanTuan aren't even really a pushing lineup, but they're just so dedicated to bringing things down quickly. They've got Drum Aura as well as the Pack Leader's Aura, and that's pretty much all you need just to bring things down quickly. I didn't even catch because Rubik didn't cast it, but he has stolen a Fiend's Grip as of a couple minutes ago. It looks like that. Yeah, that's his 4-minute spell steal, so it looks like he stole it about 2.5 minutes ago. And he's going to use it. Blink Fiend's Grip here on Ame right when he finishes his Sleight of Fist. But is there a follow-up? No, not even range for telekinesis. Means that is going to be just a little solo play there. Honestly, he couldn't have waited any longer for that because the Ember would have immediately left the lane. So he's pretty much waited as long as he could. But there just wasn't anybody to collaborate with. Gyrocopter MKB complete. Now, I definitely don't recommend Halberd, but Silver Edge any good here? I don't think so. No, it's just a game where I think June just has to buy a Geometry Sight with this 1300. Like, if they can't find somebody with their next encounter, then they're just doomed. So I think get a Geometry Sight, find out Doom or Bounty Hunter early in the engagement, and use your spells accordingly. Troll Trap catching out Paparazzi, but he shouldn't have too much trouble slipping out of that one. And that's going to leave CDEC just kind of farming on their own jungle as best they can. In the meantime, FanTuan call for the attack. It's no Roshan up just yet, so they want to make the most of their time and their momentum by taking the last outer tier tower up top. As soon as that happens, then they can just immediately run over to the pit and look to break high ground with that Aegis. Last foothold outside the base for CDEC. It's going to be a critical fight if they even bother to defend it. And there is a Geometry Sight up, actually. Geometry Sight just picked up by the Winter Wyvern here, or at least it was about a minute ago. So missed that, but now Icy has it. Gonna scout out the high ground area here. And actually, the only observer wards to actually find are the one just placed out there. So I believe they did deward one. And yeah, we'll see if they can actually get the intel they need out of this geometry site. Up top, it doesn't seem like this is a fight you want to take, though, because you're going to be walking into the call down. You got this choke point here that, while it seems pretty spread out, you're realistically, if you're trying to get to the fight, you're all going to be walking through death. And they're not even hesitating, not even looking at Roshan. They know it's going to spawn pretty soon, but they don't need to bother. As long as they're not getting Battle Fury Sleight of Fisted, they can keep doing their thing. Is that a level 1 Enfeeble? Yes, it is. Won't be dispelled by a Lotus Orb either. It is non-dispellable. But I just kind of find it cute. The 30 damage reduction. You think Gyrocopter cares about 30 damage? Let me tell you, this guy just packing way too much of a punch for that to be a factor. Once this gets closer to being maxed out, though, it is quite annoying. This guy hits for 300. It's literally a 10% damage reduction. Assuming that he's not next to the wolves, the pack leader aura, in which case it's even less. But we're going to see here in July get initiated upon. We'll see if he can follow it up. Nice Lotus Orb. Makes it very difficult to just nail him down. And we're going to see June go down very quickly, get another struck by himself. Now going to get the Yules up on the Shadow Fiend, but a great Winter's Curse and the Fiend's Grip. The Requiem on top. Massive damage being laid out, but Inflame, he's doomed. He's going to fight ZSMJ, who is tanky as all get out, and he's not going to win. They're just going to get wiped there. The Dream ultimates there. The Winter's Curse and the Fiend's Grip both very much on point and both completely insufficient. They don't lose a single damn hero here on the side of FanTuan, and they're going to walk right into the pit. DD Ruin, they can save that for the next play, but he'll bottle it and pop it, and here we go. DD coming out. Roshan going down, and with that, CDEC have to just be in a desperate position. I mean, if they couldn't win a fight like that, I'm just not sure. Initiating on the Doom with a Lotus Orb behind him obviously wasn't the greatest call either, but everything that happened after the fact seemed to be on point and just not even close to enough. Now there's a Aegis on the Gyrocopter. He's going to get 2 sets of flak in one fight, and he's already hitting hard enough to take half a team's HP without it. It's really just, I mean, SF, like, he now has to, within the next 30 seconds, find 18 souls for the next fight for that Requiem. If he's running a half Requiem, there's no way they can kill off FanTuan. I mean, let's check buybacks. At least we might be able to look at that. Right now it's 27,000 net worth, 23,000 experience, but there are 2 buybacks on the Radiant, and although those are the truest signs of desperation, the 60% reduction obviously not boding too well for their future progression. They have to think about here and now, just holding on for another minute or 2. And so that's the plan. Wait out the Aegis, minimize the siege damage coming in, just hold on for one fight, no matter how many buybacks it takes. CSMJ with the Satanic, though, essentially has 3 full health bars here. I mean, maybe he gets Fiend's Grip during the Satanic if the Bane is on point, but he'd be lucky to be able to get a good Fiend's Grip off at any point in the fight, let alone a very specific timing window. Solar Crest not being used very actively right now, but definitely could be something the Ember Spirit's frustrated by. CSMJ is actually going to be taking a lot of damage to that Battle Fairy Cleave. Nice little crits coming out from the Ember Spirit, and they're going to have to back off and heal up. Oh, did he Satanic already? I thought he was going to Satanic the neutrals here, but he actually already used it, and didn't seem to get much out of it. Interesting movement here from In July. Wants to isolate June, who's pushing up top, and while that is overall a good strategy, it looks like In July is going to look to put him in his place. Do they have any BOTs, though? I don't think there's anybody else that can come to this. No BOTs. It's going to be Doom going for the solo pick. Just the Shadow Blade strike with that Doom on top. Not agged up either, but still doing sufficient damage to take June down, especially with that crit. So, In July will have to mana up, but once he does, he can rejoin his allies in mid, and they'll be ready to rock and roll. Actually, going to get a Blink Telekinesis. The Fiend's Grip is there from Rubik, and that is going to be a kill onto Ame. That Rubik pick really paying off with Bane being one of the
Dire's
few
bottom tower is under attack.
heroes that have to channel an ultimate and can't actually cover it with anything like the Voodoo Restoration toggle. It just makes it so difficult when that spell is nearly a guaranteed steal. So, Pretty Haw really taking advantage of that fact, especially against a hero that hates to be disabled so much, like Ember. Yeah, they wish they could go for a rapier here. They couldn't afford a dime at this point. They're gonna try to hold it, cleaving, splintering, but in the end, the tier 3 is broken. The melee Rax is now subject to be claimed for sure. Even if they go in on this, he's got Satanic for his second life, and of course he has the Aegis itself. Call down right now,
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
as well as the Lotus Orb just covering him while he keeps sieging. But they don't want to group up here. You'll notice that everybody else is staying away from this Winter's Curse, potentially. So maybe Icy could split the back line, run around the side, and or fly around the side, and pick up a nice quadruple curse. So they could ignore these Gyrocopter, kill the Quap, and focus on the real threats from there. But no, they don't go for that play. Instead, the Rax just falls based on the formation FanTuan have brought. And Pretty Haw steals himself up Brain Sap, which is not negligible. Alright, so they're going to keep him up. Might consider popping Satanic on this next creep wave here. Just for the health. Yeah, he will. So he's going to be full HP now, but that is going to be on cooldown for 30 seconds. So whether he wants to push with this coming wave or the one after that is the question. With the Aegis on the clock, I think you have to go with this wave, even without the Satanic. Have your Satanic for life 2 if they choose to engage here. They put the Solar Crest, the Lotus Orb right on top, and yeah, he'll be able to clear out this tier 3 tower as well. Mid lane of Rax is down, and if top lane goes down too, it is going to be the game. But they're making sure that they protect their lead. They learned some things from 6.83, and they are not giving any opening here for CDEC. Courier? Shadow Fiend wants a Scotty. I think it's a pretty bad time for that. But, you know, there you go. It distracts him for a little bit here. Saves a few hits on your racks, but in the end, the Gyrocopter's still doing his thing with only level 1 Enfeeble still hindering him. So this is the play. Now, this is the time. If they go up in the base and start sieging one more time, the game's done. But, lucky they've waited just long enough that the Aegis has expired. And they're only dealing with 1 life from ZSMJ. Still has an 8-second BKB in the Satanic, but it's a lot better than having to deal with a second Gyrocopter on top of that. So the Rax doing their going low, but this is the opportunity for CDEC, and they have to take it. They don't have any other choice. They're actually going to be going in here hard on ZSMJ, who gets the Lotus Orb out. Winter's Curse on Icy himself. Ame's nearly killing his ally. And ZSMJ just pops the BKB Satanic and obliterates them. It is going to be the GG called. CDEC.Y just facing up against the mountain here. They just couldn't climb it. They couldn't go beyond the summit. It is going to be FanTuan the take. Game number 1 of this best of 2, actually. So already FanTuan 1-0 up. At best, CDEC.Y can draw in this match, and obviously FanTuan looking for that 2-0 for the 3-point value. Already, though, FanTuan are looking pretty good. I think they've drawn once in a match where I actually think they should have won it, but they made a few too many mistakes in their second game. But otherwise, they've been doing 2-0s since then. So if this turns out to be another 2-0, FanTuan are definitely looking to advance really strong high seed in Phase 2 of the Starladder I-League Chinese division. So just looking up our next match for today here. Now that we've finished up with the first game, we're going to be going into, of course, Game 2 of CDEC.Y versus FanTuan, and then we're going to be seeing Wings versus Insane Buster. And Insane Buster actually have really fun drafting styles, so it should be a very dynamic match. But FanTuan for now, looking really strong. ZSMJ 14-2 and 18, and of course the 741 GPM speaks volumes as well. Great play from them. Looking forward to see what they bring to Game 2, and hopefully CDEC.Y brings something unique as well to try to give them a run for their money. Anyways, once again, thanks for tuning in. I myself am Blaze. If you enjoyed the commentary, look me up at BlazeCasting on Twitter. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in a few minutes for Game number 2.